Now the latest from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Sports Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
Earlier this week here at the Sports Desk, we took a look at the Scottsbluff High football team. Today, our feature, well, we're heading across town. The Gering Bulldogs are in the midst of their first full week of fall camp, and the goal this year at a minimum is to put up a winning record. Head coach Danny O'Boyle really year to year has to change what he does to fit the strengths of his top kids. This year, that'll be his skill players.
And we've kind of tweaked our offense based on that, compared to what we've done in years past. Our athleticism favors our skill guys a little bit more this year than in years past. We've got, 3 or 4 guys that can run pretty well, guys that are good with the ball in their hands. And, when you graduate 4 guys from your starting O-line, obviously you're going to take some bumps there, but our guys have been doing a nice job of filling in and stepping into those roles. So it'll look a little bit different, but we'll be a little bit more spread out this year.
Now let's meet a couple of those guys right now that Gering will rely on heavily this season. Always nice to return your quarterback, and Reese Knight is back for his junior year.
We might not be the biggest in numbers, but we're all homegrown. We've been playing together since we're 9 or 10 years old. We all know what's going on, and I'm confident that we'll be able to make some damage in Class B.
One kid I've got my eye on to be one of the real breakout players in the region this year is Gering junior Bo Gable. Put together a great summer of baseball, was a monster in the weight room, and had a great summer out on the summer camp circuit. Sounds like Gering will use Gable as a chess piece this season.
Probably be everywhere, maybe some running back, some receiver, just see what happens. Expectations, we want to win a lot of games this year, more than we have last year, and just do some damage like reset in Class B.
They've got other offensive weapons to get the ball to in Barron Williams and Creighton Beals. These first couple of weeks of practice will be key, though, in finding the right combination along the offensive line, where they have to replace 4 starters off last year's squad. Coach O'Boyle saying a winning record is on the table this year, and he talked about the schedule they'll be up against.
It's a lot nicer than years past, and that's not a knock against any of the teams that are on our schedule this year, because it's still going to be a challenge for us. I think every team but 2 on our schedule made the playoffs last year. A lot of those teams had a decent run in the playoffs, so we're going to have to bring it every week. But with the guys that we have, this core group of guys, and the guys that are filling in for us up front, we think we're going to have a pretty decent group, and we feel like we'll be able to have success, on a weekly basis versus in years past where it seems like you're fighting David and Goliath, 7 weeks out of the 9 that you get to play. So
Gering will open at home against Torrington on the 30th. Camp stops have been aplenty this week. Here's a feature Trayton Harmon put together on the Bridgeport football team.
The Bridgeport Bulldogs are ready to capitalize on the momentum of a 7-3 season a year ago. It was a fall to remember as the Bulldogs picked up their first playoff win since 1999. Coach Jeremy Reimers talks about how that victory has carried over into this season's prep.
I just really like how the kids from last year, because we were a pretty young team last year, really carried that over into the offseason, and then they're carrying it over into practice already this year. Our first 2 practices have been a little bit further ahead than I usually am this time of year.
The Bulldogs graduated 5 players from last season's squad, including a near 2,000-yard rusher in Peyton Abbott. However, the keys to last year's Bulldog football team may have been the underclassmen, who stepped up on the field to help guide the team to 7 straight wins after starting the year 0-2. In those wins, Bridgeport's smallest margin of victory was 36 points. One of those underclassmen, quarterback Nick Weibert, believes last year was just the start of the underclassmen's success.
We had a lot of fight last year. We had a lot of freshmen and sophomores. We got a lot of powerhouse in the sophomore class, so that'll be fun.
As for this year, what will it take for the Bulldogs to continue to develop their success? Senior Cole Caton has the answer.
Just work ethic. We listen to our coaches, we do well, we all work together. We could probably make it 2-3 games into the playoffs, probably, if we have that work ethic.
The Bulldogs open the season at 6 p.m. on Friday, August the 30th, on the road against North Platte St. Patrick's. For KNEB Sports, I'm Trayton Harmon.
On Monday, we'll take a look at Mitchell High football. That's the latest today from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Sports Desk. I'm Chris Cottrell.